Okay, we're good.
All right. This meeting to order and we'll have roll call. You want to take roll call?
Oh, yeah, I'll do it. Supervisor Brewer,
Present.
Secretary Jones,
Here.
Member Von Payne,
Here.
Member Lovell,
Here.
Member McGaldy.
Here.
I need to get the rest of the list. Vice Chair Elsinga is absent. I'm sorry, I need our list. I'm blanking. Member Dubois is absent this afternoon. And then Member Wright is also absent this afternoon. So we have 5, which is a quorum for this group.
4%. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda?
Everyone have a copy of the agenda if they're seen the agenda?
Any adjustments, any changes?
No changes.
All right. Seeing none, we'll ask if there's any public comment. And you have up to 3 minutes to.
Well, yeah, sorry, 1 second. So we'll just do a motion to
Motion to
approve the agenda.
go through this. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
Make motion to accept the agenda.
It's been
Support.
moved and supported. Is there a discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign, motion carries unanimously. Public comment, have up to 3 minutes. If there's any public comment today, seeing none, we'll move to the approval of the minutes of September 8th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes of September 8th, 2025. Yes, written.
It's been moved. Is there support?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll support.
it's been moved by. It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carries unanimously. CIA informational meeting.
So as a reminder from the last meeting, we've added this item to the agenda. It's gonna stay on the agenda moving forward. And this accomplishes, just from an administrative perspective, we provide notice to all the jurisdictions that are part of the Corridor Improvement Authority. So this is a standing item for those members to, share comments with the board, learn about things that the board is doing. I haven't heard from anyone. There's no one here that I'm aware of today for that, so we could move on from that item.
Okay. Is there any questions? Concerns, comments? Okay.
Nope.
Move on to old items of business.
Nothing on the agenda for old business today.
Are there any new items for business?
We have one item under new business. So in your meeting packet, I've included a copy of a flyer for an event this Wednesday here in this room. And it's about the 2025 master plan. So that has been going for most of this year. And we're in kind of the third phase, which is starting to review some of the draft work that our consultant OHM Advisors have prepared. So they went through a public input process this summer. Some of you may have seen the community survey that took place. And we had a couple of public open house and then some focus group meetings. So they listened and took notes through all of those portions of the project and are reporting out now on some of the feedback that they received. They synthesized and analyzed all of that and they're reporting out. And they're also previewing future land use map and some objectives and vision statements. So all of that's going to be unveiled at the open house on Wednesday. If you happen to catch it or you're a frequent watcher of township board meetings, the Lynn from OHM Advisors was at the last township board meeting on October 6th and provided an overview and kind of a preview of what they've heard so far. She went over some of those results. So if you don't get a chance to make the meeting on Wednesday, the township board meeting on October 6th is a good way to kind of just catch up a little bit on it. But we're hoping to have some people come out for the open house here. It's been quite a lot of promotional activities surrounding it. So if you're able to attend, we'd love to have you. So in this room, 3:30 to 6:30 this Wednesday afternoon.
Peter, is there anything specific related to this board as pertains to the master plan.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's all part of the bigger picture of land use planning. And I would say the most relevant item is corridor planning. One of the approach has been to break the community up into some priority development areas. One of those areas is the West Saginaw Highway Corridor. So they have some preliminary land use designations for the corridor. They have not proposed any, I'll spoil it for you. They haven't proposed anything groundbreaking in
Yeah,
terms
that's
of
what-
changes to the corridor.
Okay,
They've proposed some changes to the categories, kind of how we define some of the categories. So for example, kind of re-envisioning commercial land use as commercial incorporating also office and potentially also residential. And that being more of the vision, so like a mixed use corridor. And how can we make it the most flexible policy environment for redevelopment opportunities in the future? However, there's not a lot of substance behind it at this point. So where the rubber hits the road on some of these master plan stuff is master plans, kind of the big loose general vision. And then we'll have a set of goals and objectives coming out of that are in draft form still, that will help us kind of turn vision into policy realities. And that's what my big plan, I mean, that's kind of when the baton goes from the consultant to the planning team and our township staff to try to actually move the needle on some of the things that come out of the master plan. What the priority levels of some of those are gonna be, we don't know yet. But that's where I see this group providing a lot of input on policy decisions as we re-envision kind of our policy environment on the corridor and what would work best to ensure that we have a flexible environment while also maintaining whatever standards that we want to have. So those conversations, that's a lot of words to say. We're not really there yet,
okay.
but we're getting there, and this next meeting is a big milestone in kind of taking the next step. But nothing immediate to react to for this group
Okay.
right now.
Thank you.
But I will continue to keep this on your radar from now until the next 10 years. We're gonna keep talking about policy on the corridor.
Terry Jones.
All
you wanna
right.
add something?
Yes,
I just want to add something, and sorry, I didn't have it on the agenda, but it's really not an item, but I did want to say that, Peter and Brian and I had a conversation with the Lansing Mall. And, so I wanted to know if Peter wanted to, or Brian, just kind of give a high level,
Thank you.
overview of what that is, and we hope there will be more, and I hope that it will involve you.
Mhm.
They need to know how passionate we are about that space.
Mhm.
And so I'll turn it over to those two to share a little insight, if you will. Sorry for
Okay.
putting you on the
Oh,
spot.
no, you're good.
Go ahead.
All right, I will. Yeah, we had a meeting with the owner, Summit Properties, and they're based out of New York City. They own and manage the Lansing Mall. It was timely for us to engage with them. They've had some changes and there's some pretty significant changes in their staff. So the manager that was brought on most recently, Tammy, has since moved on, is no longer with the company. And they've had some changeover just in the local team here. So we met with the national folks. So one was in Alabama, one was, I think, in Portage. I'm not sure where the third gentleman was, if he was also in Alabama or he's just part of the company, but right now, the mall's being managed kind of at the corporate level. They've got the mall manager from the Crossroads Mall in Portage by Kalamazoo, kind of serving dual roles, keeping an eye on the mall here while they're trying to get a new management team in place. So there's some changes that are happening at the mall and the executive structure that the team that we talked to seemed pretty excited about, getting the right people in the right places to kind of make some progress there. So at a very high level, my impression of the conversation was they exhibited a willingness, like an open-mindedness to hearing what the community, how important. I mean, a lot of the meeting was emphasizing how important the mall is to the corridor in general, historically, what it has been, and then what it could be moving forward. My perception of it was they were very open to hearing that and are more engaged than I think at least I initially had thought before. And wanna better understand like what the community is looking for, how they can best kind of position themselves to be ready for potential progress at the mall, just say progress kind of generically. We talked about the movie theater site, getting that marketed, possibly slated for demolition, just something, getting that on their radar is an important piece, because right now it's just there, it's nothing's happening with it. It's not, the building itself is not in great shape. So what are the, do they have any, kind of really sussing out, do they have any plans for that property? And what might the next steps be with that? So we're gonna, engage in a dialogue with them about what the future of that property might hold and how they could best mobilize to get it marketed, kind of what their options are gonna be. And then talked really at a large, high level about what the community might envision at the mall. So some of the kind of crumbs that have come out of the master plan process so far, the public engagement part of it, were a high emphasis on seeing either redevelopment or infill development or housing at the mall. It came out as the #1 priority for attention. So there's just so many opportunities there, and I think we really work to try to make it clear to them that it's a very high priority site for the township, and that we would love to see them think big about it and be open to ideas, and really trying to gauge kind of what their level of support might be for something like that. So no, nothing strong either way. I was happy with the message that they were sending, is basically, yeah, we're here, we hear you, we are interested. And what I got out of it was that, maybe we could help them connect those dots and show them a vision for what it might be, because they just don't, I think, internally have that structure where they're re-envisioning that property, and they're gonna need some external forces to help them best understand what the community wants to see there and what their options are locally. So there's some homework on our end. It's try to put some of those pieces together and lead them to kind of a grand vision for the mall. They've said, just anecdotally, on some of the other properties they manage around the country, that they have done some cool things. So it's not off the radar or kind of out of their,
Okay.
grasp. I mean, the company is a big company. They have the firepower to do it. It's just, I think, everything has to align. So hopefully I'm not selling that too short.
No, I think it was great. Brian, if you have anything that you'd like to add to that?
And I think Peter covered it pretty well. I think, between, Supervisor Brewer's leadership and Peter, I think the tone was very good in terms of we're here as partners and we want to help, but also a little bit of a veil, like we're not gonna just sit back and we hear from our residents, so we will continue to push for some forward progression, especially with, like I say, the old theater site, which is vacant, and is gonna become an issue. Sometimes it already is an issue, but we need to see some movement forward, especially because they do protest their tax values every year. So it's like, we don't want to just sit back and watch this diminish into no value. So understanding of their situation, understanding of the economics and the investment it takes, and we're happy to help. We have some tools that can help, but at the same time, we'll be yipping at their heels, I guess, to keep on their radar.
So they didn't divulge any master grand plans right now.
No,
It's pretty flat.
They didn't. They were asking, really is asking us what we'd like to see and
Okay.
what the community envisions. So, I mean, they were open to a lot of different ideas, and as Fonda said, they have some experience to draw from other states and in terms of, but they were still, I think, fairly new to Michigan and
Okay.
and Lansing and this economy, so I think they were more so looking for information than saying, here's our plan, but I think they had some energy towards it. So hopefully,
And I think if we follow up
Mm-hmm.
and show them that we are passionate about this area, we're passionate about this corridor, they're a big part of it. And they seemed open. Now, a lot of people can say that, But they were pleased that one, I requested the meeting. I wanted
Okay.
to meet with them. I said, you're a priority in our township. That spot is historic to me, certainly. And we need to do something with it. We need it to live up to its name. And so they were very amenable to that. They're like, what do you have? What do you want to do?
Okay,
And so we mentioned, we have this board,
okay,
and I would love for us to have a conversation.
Mhm.
I'd love for them to hear from you. You know, I'd love for us to have some ideas to throw it out, because they didn't wince when we said, you really need to demolish that standalone theater.
Mhm.
It is really not rentable, and who would want to?
yeah,
Because bringing it up to code
oh, yeah,
would be too costly.
at this point.
And so no, they didn't flinch with anything we said. They're like, you know, we were thinking maybe even, you know, like we put a soccer complex or something in one of their malls, and it's a hit. They want to do something different.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
they need us
Mhm.
to bring them some ideas. They also need us to be willing to maybe help out or provide some tools in some way. So it could be a very, very successful partnership for us if we keep moving in that direction. And I think we're just the board to do that.
I would also ask, is there a way to bring the community into this so that the community can talk about what are some of the things they would like to see at the Lansing Mall? We're the ones that live here. And I'm sure there are a number of ideas about how can the Lansing Mall best serve not only Delta Township, but the entire region. The soccer idea has come up. We've heard that a few times.
Yes.
But if we could, have our community throw in some ideas to make that Lansing Mall a destination point, I think that'll be great for everybody. Just an idea.
I like that. It's good.
we're talking about a corridor visioning of some sort, right? I think, I know Scott brought this up several meetings ago, but I think at this point, we're pretty much locked in from Broadbent to the highway,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So let's focus further east now. What can we do to, as a board, to bring
Love that.
some conceptual
Yes.
plans? I know we're just sort of getting into that.
Mhm.
Has there been any further thoughts or next steps? I know I think we talked about last time, we just don't want to bring a consultant on board, but at what point do we spend a little money to conceptually bring, and maybe it's coming out of this master plan, and maybe that, I think Peter, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Remember, right?
That's how I was hoping that the momentum would carry us, is coming out of the master plan with some clear kind of vision based on community input. And
Are you
the
getting that
community will
input?
kind of what's that?
Are you getting that type of input at the?
Well,
last
yeah, I
one?
mean, yes, just preliminarily, I can say, I mean, that the community is pretty solid in a prioritization of that being a development, a site that's very important to the community. So we can, and I'm sure there's more that I might be forgetting in the moment, but we can build on that. I had suggested at the last meeting about starting just an inventory of, I know it's kind of a boring approach, but just a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities kind of thing. And starting with that,
Sure.
I mean, ultimately, I think the end game will be some sort of graphic representation of whether it's street profiles or welcome views, so we'll have to get there.
Okay,
Yeah, I think if I could, Peter, right now we have a lot on our plate, planning wise, with the master plan, the corridor, plan. We're doing a lot with sewer and water modeling, and
okay.
that's kind of related to that plan. We have a non-motorized plan going on right now, so I think moving too much into that type of planning publicly at this point, need a little bit of road between us. Would you agree,
Yeah.
Peter? And so I think, as Peter said, starting off with some SWOT stuff and with
Okay.
this board and maybe working on that scope and that type of thing is helpful. Versus if we put out another survey right now on, what do you want to see in this part of the corridor of the plan, I don't think it's gonna be beneficial at this moment until we get a little bit of space between the master plan and that stuff too.
Yeah, we need to better understand just some of the logistical challenges, like with, we know that there needs to be a utility study in that area. Our water sewer remodeling is going to lead us to better understand where, what our municipal system can support in terms of units in certain
Mhm.
areas. I don't know, I don't know this, but can the mall support 500 just based on what's there now? Can our septic,
Right.
Yeah.
public sewer system even use that many RUs in that area? We don't know that, but that's part of this water sewing, sorry, I'm tripping over my words, but that modeling is going to tell us that that's all part of the master plan.
It
So
is, okay.
between the public input stuff, this water sewer modeling, I think we're gonna be better positioned to know more about kind of what the challenges might be. And then from there, I mean, how we move into some of the more visionary planning
So
activities.
when we get through Wednesday, what's the next step with the master plan?
The next step after Wednesday will be internally reviewing draft chapters in the document. And providing feedback to our consultant based on the input that's heard at these stations that will be set up during Wednesday's
During
meeting.
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And then when's the completion of that,
Well,
potential completion?
potential should be end of the year. However, I expect that a complete draft will be complete before the end of the year. The adoption process might take a little longer because there's just a lot of things to marry. So we have, in a broad sense, we have a consultant kind of working on the master plan without a lot of input from staff. You know, we don't have like big work sessions together. So they're putting these draft documents together. I'm reacting to them. The public is reacting to them. Ultimately, we're going to have some kind of document that comes out of that. And then the adoption process will have to start where we marry some of the goals and objectives from the document with the policy priorities of the board and how all that kind of coalesces. I don't have a time frame for that right now. It can be a little bit different in every community, and it's been a long time since this community has gone through that process. But I'm hoping that we'll have a draft by the end of this year and can start working on an adoption process around that same time.
Excellent.
Good, good report. Cool. Anything else?
No?
Questions, comments? Okay. We'll move on to other business, staff updates.
So out of respect, we wanted to get into this closed session to have this discussion. So out of respect for that, I didn't have really anything project wise that was crucial. One thing to mention is the Anna's House grand opening is October 27th. You all should have a meeting invite for that. I believe it starts at 9 and they're asking us to be there at 8:45. The ribbon cutting's at 9. So that's down here in McGaldy Lane for the Anna's House restaurant. And also.
What time was it for?
The ribbon cutting is at 9, but we need to be there at 8:45 just to move bodies around and get set for the photo.
Thank you.
Any more updates on the MDOT work?
No, haven't had anything on that come up recently. I'll continue to check in with them.
Okay. And then how about Delta Crossings proper?
We're gonna talk about Delta,
All
we'll
right.
talk about Delta
Okay.
Crossings. Nothing's, the Bass Pro Shops is still in the site plan review process.
Okay,
No new applications, proposals there right now.
okay.
Right. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Oh, damn.
Okay. Our next regular scheduled meeting will be Monday, November 10th, 2025 at 4 p.m.
November 10th.
And okay.
Thank you.
So at your meeting places, I just provided a letter I meant to hand out and be ready for you. But to facilitate the adjournment to our closed session. So the way this is gonna work is you have a memo in front of you. It just provides the legislative language that we need to adjourn to closed session. So there's a motion that will get us to closed session. We'll go into closed session, we'll have that discussion. We'll need to come back to this room then to adjourn the regular meeting. So the memo in front of you just provides what we need to say to make that happen.
Will we take a roll call vote?
Yes. So whomever has read through it and is interested in making that motion,
Is,
please do so.
is there a motion to go into closed session?
Yes.
Support.
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah, read Right,
Everybody supported by Peggy?
Probably should read it.
Yeah, if you can read
I was
it.
just saying, yes, I'll read it.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Mhm.
I move that the Delta Township West Saginaw Corridor Improvement Authority Board adjourn to closed session at the request of the township manager under the Open Meetings Act, Public Act 267 of 1976, the Open Meetings Act, Section 8(1)H, to consider material exempt from discussion or disclosure by the state or federal statute.
And it's been supported by Peggy.
Yes.
All in favor on that? We'll-
Aye.
roll call. Okay, I can do that. So Chair Berman is absent, Supervisor Fonda or Supervisor Brewer?
Yes.
Member Dubois is absent, member or Vice Chair Elsinga is absent, member Jones,
Yes.
member Lovell,
Yes.
member Valdi,
Yes.
member Von Payne. And member Ryan is absent. All right, so we'll go up to closed session. So I'm gonna, the meeting, for those watching at home later online, this meeting will be, the online meeting will stay live, but we're gonna put a note that just says we're in closed session and unmute the volume.
And then we'll come back here.
Yeah, and then we'll come back here to adjourn.
Mhm.
All right, I'm turning the audio back on for the meeting.
Make a motion to,
We're,
Mr. Gabble's back in.
all right, we're back in open session. Is there any other business to be brought before the board?
I don't believe so.
No,
Okay. Uh, With no other business to be brought before this board, we stand adjourned.
we usually do a motion to adjourn the meeting or, sorry.
Is there a motion? I'm sorry, folks. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? So moved.
support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there further discussion? Hearing none? We're up. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? No.
There you go.
Okay.
Sorry, so we need to read,
Time.
is it-
Official.
are we done?
my gosh.